ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। सुमुखश्च एकदन्तश्च कपिलो गजकर्णकः लम्बोदरश्च विगतो विघ्नराजो विनायकः धूमकेतुर्गणाध्यक्षः फालचन्द्रो गजाननः वक्रतुण्डः सूत्रकर्णो हेरम्बः स्कन्दपूर्वजः शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये यस्यद्विरदवक्त्राद्याः पारिषद्याः परस्सतं विघ्नं निघ्नन्ति सततं विश्वक्सेनं तमाश्रये। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय कृष्णाय अक्लिष्टकारिणे नमो वेदान्तवेद्याय गुरवे बुद्धिसाक्षिणे कृष्णद्वैपायनं व्यासं सर्वभूतहिते रतं वेदाब्जभास्करं वन्दे समाधिनिलयं मुनिं जन्माद्यस्य यतः अन्वयात् इतरतश्च अर्थेषु अभिघ्नस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायः आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत् सूरयः तेजोवारिमृतां यथा विनिमयो यत्पृथ्वीसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि धर्मः प्रोचितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवम् अत्र वक्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनम् श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृदि अवरुध्यतेः अत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषिभिः तत्क्षणात् निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखात् अमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिकाः भुवि भावुकाः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्. With Bhagavan's grace, we will take up Adhyayam 31 in Skandham number 3, Slokam number 1. One minute, we get the things here. So, after describing what happens when I leave the body and going through the experiences of the various actions that I had committed by undertaking a series of births in certain order as needed, and finally at the appropriate time, as dictated by Bhagavan for his will, then I take birth as in the human body again in order to get back home. Okay? So the very first slokam talks about Sri Bhagavan Uvacha 31, not 32, excuse me, 1 second. Let me get the 31 slokam, the 31 adhyayam here. Bhagavatam 31.1. Okay. So, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Bhagavan says, continues, Kapila Bhagavan, Karmana Daivanetrena Jantuhu Deha Upapattaye Striyaha Pravishta Udaram Pumsaha Retaha Kanasrayaha Kana Ashraya. Karmana Daivanetrena Jantuhu Deha Upapattaye Striyaha Pravishtaha Udaram Pumsaha Retaha Kana Ashraya. Karmana Daivanetrena Janturdehopapattaye Striya Pravishta Udaram Pumso Reta Kana Ashraya. Bhagavan says, okay, now after going through the overall meaning, first let me give you, and then we'll move on. It will be easier that way to understand. After carrying out not necessarily nullifying, but after experiencing the results of all his sins in hell and in various other embodiments, Bhagavan directs me, an ignorant jiva, because I still have ahamkaram, feeling of separation, again to a human birth. Now this human birth is suited to the nature of my residual karma. Very important to understand this. Nature of my residual karma. Okay, that is number one. Slokam number one. So karmana jantuhu, the jantu, the jivan, daiva netrena, has directed by Bhagavan and in his control or his will, karmana, after having carried out the various reactions to the actions done. The actions done are sinful, hurting people, harming people, cruelty, etc., etc. Whatever the papamuttigal I'm carrying, they have a certain reaction, and that reaction has to go through. We call it a sufferings, experiences in hell, in Narakam and all that. After having gone through that, and after having taken birth, in order to even further eliminate some of those, the reaction, the load of various reactions that I have got to go through, whether born as a pig or whether a dog or a snake or whatever it may be. And then that is what karmana is. Then with a certain residual karma load, deha upapaddaye, to get an embodiment. In this case, it is not necessarily human body. We will see that a few other things are also involved here. So to get another body, pumsaha retaha kana asrayaha. Pumsaha, on the male side, for the man, okay, purushan, the masculine entity. Retaha, the retaha, very simply put in English language, is what we call a semen. The kana asrayaha is very important. The asrayaha means something that is being protected. The semen is just not a physical thing, but it also has to have the essence of the Chaitanya. Bhagavan's will is there for a body to form. This is very, very important to understand. It's not just a physical joining of a man and a woman, and then the semen and womb join together and make a body. No, it does not happen like that. Only one particle of that semen, as ordained by Bhagavan, can give life to another body. Okay, so that is kana asrayaha. Striyaha udharam, in the udharam, in the right stomach. In this case, it's a womb, or the uterus, whatever we call it. Ultimately, it's going to come. The pravishtaha, he enters. So the jivan, which is nothing but yatana deham, okay, which is nothing but the persona of the mind, and which is nothing but the persona of unfulfilled desires, carrying out a load of unfulfilled desires, okay, residual load of desires, and the reactions that have come from it that have not been eliminated yet. Right? If I have harmed someone, there is suffering associated with that. I have to pay the price for it if I have not carried it already. So with that load, then I take birth in a woman's womb. Okay, with a retaha kana asrayaha, as dictated by daiva. Very important. Daiva netrena. It doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't happen with in all instances. No. It happens when Bhagavan will sit. Karmana daivanetrena jantuhu deha upapattaye striyaha pravishtaha udaram pumsaha retaha kana asrayaha. Number 2. Kalalam tu Kalalam through Ekaratrena Pancharatrena Budbudham Dasa Ahena tu Karkanduhu Pesi Andamva Tataha Param. Pesi Andamva is very important. Pesi means it could be like a piece of flesh, Andam means egg. So here not only the human birth is described, which we are going to follow through now, okay, it can also happen in the case of a bird, for example, which is an egg, forms as an egg. So what happened? Ekaratrena, after when Bhagavan's desire, will is there, and the semen and the ovum combine with each other, in one night, what happens is it becomes what is known as Kalalam. Kalalam simply means the semen and the ovum mix with each other in one night. Then Pancharatrena Budbudham. Okay. Budbudham is like a bubble. So after the mixing, it takes 5 nights for the mixture to kind of turn into what we call as a bubble. And that is kind of a foamy thing. Okay. Then Dasa Ahena tu, aham means a day. Dasa Ahena tu, in 10 days time, what happens? This bubble, kind of a foamy kind of a thing, what does it do? It becomes like Karkanduhu. Now, Karkanduhu is like a plum fruit that we have, okay? Or you can call it, like a plum, or we call it in Tamil, Eladambaram, okay? It is like that. So it becomes a little bit solid, and then Tataha Param, after becoming that, Pesi Andamva. Pesi, it either becomes a piece of flesh, or Andamva becomes the shape of an egg. So in the case of birds, it becomes an egg. In the case of human beings, an embryo is formed after 10 days over, more like 14 days time. And this is where the difference between our Shastric calculation of a human birth differs from the scientific calculation, which takes as the formation of this Karkanduhu, this plum kind of a thing, or the form of an embryo that attaches, to the uterus, to the wall of the fallopian tube or whatever. And from that day they calculate. So the calculation made here by Kapila Bhagavan is probably 10 to 14 days earlier. It starts the calculation earlier than what the scientific calculation is. But basically everything follows after this. So Kalalam tu Ekaratrena Pancharatrena Budbudham Tata Ahena tu Karkaduhu Pesi Andamba Tataha Param. Number 3. Masena tu Sirodvabhyam. Okay. Masena tu Sirodvabhyam. Then Bahu Angri Adi Anga Vigraha. Okay. Bahu Angrayadi Anga Vigraha Naka Loma Asti Charmani Lingaha Chidra Uddavaha Tribihi. Masena tu Sirodvabhyam Bahu Angri Adi Anga Vigraha Naka Loma Asti Charmani Lingaha Chidraha Uddavaha Tribihi. Now, okay, 10 days after that, in the course of a month, in 1 month time, Mase 2, okay, Siraha, the head, forms. Dvabhyam, in 2 months time, Bahu, Angri Adi, Angaha, Vigraha. In 2 months' time, what happens? Bahu means arms. Angri means feet. Adi and so on. Other anga limbs, other limbs, arms, feet and other limbs. Angri adi, angaha, other limbs. Vigraha, they form. Okay, in 2 months' time. Then Tribihi, in 3 months' time, what happens? Naka, Loma, Asti, Charmani, okay? Then Lingaha, Chidraha, Udbhavaha. Chidra Udbhavaha. So in 3 months' time, what happens? Nakam, male form, Lomaha, the hair of the body that forms, Asti, the bones form, and Charmani means skin is forming, Lingaha, the sexual organs form in the 3 months' time, and Chidra means various openings, eyes and noses and nostrils and anus and all that, okay? So those Uddhavaha, they all appear. So in second one, arms, feet and other limbs of the body form. Then in the 3 months' time, you have the other things like nail, skin, then the body hair and bones and the genetic organs, reproducible the organs, and the various openings in the body like eyes and ears and nostrils and all that. They all form in 3 months. In 4th month, Chaturbihi, okay, all these are formed. Now, next thing is they are slowly there to become active now, right? And look at the progression of how this creation takes place. It's really amazing. So, Chaturbihi Dhatavaha, the Dhatu is very important. Dhatavaha Saptaha. Panchabihi Shut Trut Udbhavaha. Shadbihi Shut Trut Udbhavaha Shadbihi. That we had joined it together. Then Shadbihi Jarayuna Vitaha Kukshau Brahmyati Dakshine. So in this Shadbihi is the 6th month. Okay, now we are starting at 4th month. Chaturbihi Dhatavaha Saptaha. So dhatus means various components, ingredients, we call it, and there are 7 of them, 7 dhatus, and the 7 dhatus are like the digestive fluid, blood, then flesh, and then again bones, and then the things that join bones, etc. Okay, there are the bone marrow is there, then what we call as fat that is there, and also the semen. Okay, semen, so total of them are 7. So Sapta Dhatavaha form in Chaturbihi in the 4th month. Panchabihi, after these are formed, in the 5th month, naturally the hunger and thirst begin. Chut, Trut. Chut means hunger, Trut means thirst. Uddhavaha, they happen. Then Shadbihi, what happens? Shadbihi, Jarayuna Vitaha. Jarayuna means the garbhapai, the womb in which the fetus is. Okay, Jarayuna. Vitaha, completely surrounded by that. Dakshine Kukshau Brahmyati. Dakshine Kukshau. The little fetus, the begins Dakshina, this means right side. Okay. Paschima means on the left side, but it also means south and north, but they're different. In this case, Dakshina means right side. So the fetus actually moves to the right side, being surrounded by the Brahmyati means it makes its movement, moving to the right. That happens in the 6th month, and we can see the mothers, present in this. We all would have felt movement of the fetus in the 6th month. Okay. Chaturbihi Dhatavaha Sapta Panchabihi Chutrut Uddhavaha Shadvihi Jarayuna Vitaha Kukshau Brahmyati Dakshinau. Then let us see. Kukshau means basically the abdomen in the womb, and Vitaha means surrounded by, enclosed by. Okay. Number 5. Now, okay, 6th month have come. Now, beautiful things, amazing things take place. So this is now Jivanaschi. Slowly the body is forming. Now, the so-called memory and consciousness of the brain starts functioning, and all those things have to take place. And amazingly, each one of us at this time, in the 7th month, remember all the things we did in the past and the things we are going to do in the coming birth. And we also remember very fully Bhagavan. And we pray to him, please let me not go into the world. I don't want it. That is what we actually pray, each one of us, before we come out of our mother's womb and get born. Then once born, we don't want to go back. That's another story, but we didn't really want to come here. Okay? But remember everything. So that Matuhu Jagdan Apanabhyehi Edat Dhatuhu Asammate. Asammate is very important, very extremely unpleasant and repulsive. Okay? Sete Min Mutrayoho Gate Sa Jantuhu Jantu Sambhaved. Now, see the placenta, what we call as placenta, the baby is in the thing, right? And the placenta, we know, supplies food and nourishment to the fetus so that it can grow. We all know that. And where does the placenta carry its nutrition and all from? Only from the intestine is the mother, because that is where the digestion of all the food the mother takes, where whatever she eats or drinks or whatever it is, the nutrition, the digestive, the things that are digested there, it also gets transmitted to the fetus, those essence of those nutrients. That is how it comes. So please remember that. So the slokam, now Padatanga, we read the slokam again. Matuhu Jagdhan Apan Adhehi Edat Dhatuhu Asammate Sete Vinmutrayoho Gate Sa Jantuhu Jantu Sambhave. Matuhu, our mothers, Jagdanna Panadaihi. That is the way. So Jagda Annapana Adhyaihi. Jagda Annapana Adhyaihi. Jagda means whatever has been taken by the mother. Anna, food. Pana, the drinks. Adhyaihi, etc. Okay. So the food and the drink taken by the mother, that is very important. And with drinking that, taking that through the what we call as the placenta, Edat, this fetus is growing in size, growing. And Dhatuhu, the various elements that we talked about, right? The components, they all grow. Dhatuhu. Now, in this process, what happens? The Jantu Sambhave Asammate. Surrounded, remember, the whole thing is being surrounded by the intestinal cavity, so to speak, right? And in mother's womb. And this baby, this little fetus, is surrounded by all that. And in that area, we all know there are lots of bacteria or worms or whatever it is, Jantu Sambhave, lots of things are being created there. Asammate, because of that, unpleasant and repelled by that. Vin Mutrayoho. The other thing also that takes place is that the mother's body has to excrete the things that the body doesn't want, which we call as stools or urine or whatever. All those are Garte Saha. Garte, very important. So that cavity has got all this. In that cavity, this fetus, Jantuhu, Sete, this fetus is lying down, connected with the placenta and surrounded by, and then we're going to see, the various coverings that are going to come on the baby. But that is the way that the fetus is, if you look at it from another angle. This is why it is very important. We all know that. I don't want to spend too much time on this. That during the time of pregnancy, why a mother should eat properly and sleep properly, drink properly, and not take anything that is toxic or very pungent or very spicy, etc., etc. We all know that. Take healthy food and listen to good music, and so many things are there. We have to take care because everything goes to the fetus. So Matuhu Jagdhan upon the Matuhu Jagda Anna Annapana Adhyaihi Yedat Dhatuhu Asammate Sete Vinmutrayoho Gatesa Jantuhu Jantu Sambhave Matuhu Jagda Anna Pana Adhyaihi Yedat Dhatuhu Asammate Sete Vinmutrayoho Gatesa Jantuhu Jantu Sambhave. Sete Vinmutrayoho, and the word is Garte. That's why it didn't make sense as I was reading it. It is Garte. Let me correct myself. I didn't write it down properly here. It is Garte. Garta means cavity. Okay, Gate means to go. It didn't make sense. Matuhu, again let me read, so please correct it if the mistake I made here. Matuhu Jagda Anna Pana Adhyahi. Matuhu, the mother, Jagda, whatever she has taken, Annam, Panam, Adhyahi, etc. Because of that, Edate, the Jivan is growing in size. In Dhatuhu, they are all growing in size. Asammate, but at the same time, this Jivan, this little fetus, Asammate, very unpleasant and odorous, Vinmutrayoho Garte, surrounded by in the cavity where the mother is excreting everything, right? But and that cavity also, Jantu Sambhave, is also creating worms and other things that happen there. And that this Jantuhu Sete, that is lying down there in that cavity. Matuhu Jagda Anna Pana Adhyehi Edat Dhatuhu Asammate Sete Vinmutrayoho Gartesa Jantuhu Jantu Sambhave. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Santi Santi Santi. Harihi Om.